COVID has taken its toll around the globe, infecting and killing millions. It resulted into serious job losses and made a lasting impact in people's lives. Countries are still reeling under its pressure and in desperate need of a vaccine to get their economies back on track, which are hit adversely due to COVID-19 pandemic. Good news is some very positive news have come out of the pharma world for availability of vaccine, which cheered economies all around the globe. The most severely hit country was USA, whose GDP contracted by 33% between March and September. Many countries like India, UK, and other European countries saw their respective GDPs go down by more than 20%. But there was one country which emerged stronger than most of the largest economies. Bangladesh managed to have its GDP in positive territory throughout the pandemic. When most of the countries saw their economies nosedived, Bangladesh saw its economy in positive of more than 3%. How did Bangladesh manage this? Bangladesh happened to be the fastest expanding economy in South Asia until this COVID-19 pandemic struck. Bangladesh initially dodged the bullet by strategically avoiding the importation of COVID-19. It had successfully evacuated Bangladesh's citizens from China by late January, and quarantined and reintegrated them. As soon as the virus spread across the world, it hit Bangladesh too. Bangladesh shut down its educational institute first, followed by closing of non-essential service. Bangladesh deliberately avoided using words like lockdown to avoid panic in its citizens. Once guided lockdown came into effect, restrictions were imposed. It all happened within a 20-day time span. Within this time, the usage of masks was successfully promoted across the country. It steadily increased its testing capacity. Ahsan H. Mansur, chairperson of BRAC Bank, said that Bangladesh has been doing remarkably steadily and quite well in terms of macroeconomic performance. It did not have any balance of payment shocks in the last 20 to 30 years. The fiscal deficit is very much under control, between 3.5 to 4.5%. It is also underpinned by good solid external sector developments like exports, which have historically done very well. He also added that remittances from abroad have done very well and have also worked as a counter-cyclical factor. Even during this pandemic, the remittance is at an all-time high. And not only simply high, it is about 20% more compared with last year, same time. So it is acting as very much of a solid shock absorber for our economic system and for the rural economy. These factors added up, and the result is that although Bangladesh has not done too well in terms of economic reforms in the fundamental sense, which they always complain about, its export performance, remittance performance, and the resilience of the private sector in the domestic economy has made growth very much an impressive outcome. This year, Bangladesh have done much worse than any of the recent years, but that is because of COVID. But Bangladesh is not in a negative territory, as projected by the World Bank, IMF, and any other organization. Step taken by the government and the above factors prevented their GDP from going into the negative zone. Ahsan H. Mansur further said in an interview that the initial shock was very severe for exports, at least until May. Later on, exports recovered. Some of the orders which were postponed or cancelled have come back again. And the factories are working. Some factories are hiring not only the old staff, but they are hiring new staff. So there is some good news in certain factories. The government decisively rolled out a stimulus package of $8.5 billion. The package was catered towards employment retention, especially in the lower income bracket. The first investment was to the export-oriented formal sector wage payments. Then it was sectioned out amongst informal SMEs, domestic industries, agro-sector, and social security schemes. The stimulus was prepared in consultation with the country Euro trademark's major economists and think tanks. As a result, unlike many other policy actions, the stimulus was applauded by almost all quarters. Within 2 weeks of the announcement, the social protection measures of food aid and cash delivery have reached nearly 28 million people. Government stressed industries to go digital to reduce cash dependency, which leads stimulus go into the right hands. Current GDP of Bangladesh is at 3.8%, whereas China is 1.8%, USA -4.3%, India at -10.3%, and European countries are anywhere between -2% and -10%. It is so interesting. Most of the major economies went down and Bangladesh tackled the crisis much better. One possibility could be that big economics were too confident of themselves. We are hopeful of COVID vanishing soon due to some promising vaccine trials, and the world will be same as it was before COVID. If you liked this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. Do click the bell icon to get all the notifications from us.